So David Mulugheta, the agent for Micah Parsons, was on First Take. Of course he was.
So he's talking now.
Yeah, of course he was. He was on First Take, and he had a couple of interesting things to say, one of which was the quote-unquote negotiation that Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones allegedly had back in March when Micah got back from being out of the country. This was his agent's take on that situation.
As far as Micah's concerned, he was out of the country. He got a call from Jerry's assistant and was asked to come in to meet about leadership. So when he got back from his vacation, he came in and he gave them a call, told him he was back, he was ready to meet. At some point during that meeting that was represented to him was going to be about leadership, it turned into contract talk. And, if you're a 25-year-old football player and your boss, who happens to be the most powerful person in the NFL, starts talking about contracts, it's hard for you to end that conversation. So they had a conversation. Micah nodded his head out of respect. Obviously, there's a power dynamic that's a little different there. One guy is the owner of the team and the GM. And the other one is Micah Parsons, a young 25-year-old football player. So I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication there by the time Micah walked out, but at no point did Micah believe that he was negotiating a contract.
So that was...
It makes sense. I mean, that checks out.
I mean...
What do you mean?
Well, numbers were discussed, and there was another report from Don Van Natta and Jeremy Fowler on ESPN that said that Jerry and Micah had reportedly had the parameters of the deal, and then Parsons called Stephen Jones after that meeting to try and see if they could increase some of the monies in the contract. So
I don't believe that.
Okay, I mean,
okay,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. That's just my opinion on it. I don't believe that to be true.
I see what's happening here. I mean, he'll believe one guy. He just won't believe the other, huh?
Damn.
I'm not a David Mulugheta fan either, but I'm just saying, I don't believe that to be true. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't believe that to be true. Again, and even if they had the discussion, and I feel like that checks out. Like he had the discussion point. They brought up numbers, this, that, and the other. I just don't see Micah committing to a parameter of a contract without talking with his agent. In fact, I would extend further to say the vast majority of guys that are in the NFL wouldn't do that without the involvement of their agent.
Yeah, so I think that's rather obvious. Well, the thing I'd ask you is, do you think they hadn't had a conversation at any point about what a contract would look like? Because what I think most likely happened is he probably already had conversations with his agent before about what they're looking for, what they're going for. And then when Jerry asked him to come up, he's talking to him about it. But here's the thing, is by no means when you're a player and an owner or your general manager asks you to come up, do you believe that you're actually negotiating the contract? You know what I'm saying? Like, you maybe put in some framework or talking about some things, but you're not this isn't pen to paper, right? Like, so many things have fallen through in contracts, and this extends outside of football because, whatever attorneys got involved or agents got involved and they didn't like the language in certain clauses in the contract and it fell through. It happens all the time. So, the general point that I would take is, regardless of what was said in that meeting, this isn't the good old days. That's not how it works, Jerry. So I don't care if there was a verbal agreement or whatever you thought you had or spit on your hands and shook hands.
Still got to talk to the agent.
Yeah, you have to get it in writing.
Yeah,
forget that, you have to get it in writing. Jerry Jones is a savvy enough businessman to know that any deal he's going to negotiate, there's not a word of mouth negotiation contract being taken place. That's not how the NFL works. He knows that. He just signed Deron Bland to that. Was that just a spit on their hands, shake, and there you go? Is that how that worked? I mean, all this stuff is believable. It just, when it comes down to it, none of it's an actual contract. None of it's actually on paper. Both parties signed the agreement, and that's the contract we want with moving forward. And obviously they couldn't come to that. And, Micah was wise enough to make sure his agent was involved. So, look, good thing for Micah is he got his agent involved. He got the deal he wanted. I just, I want him to be able to get on the field and play and see what Green Bay is capable of this year.
I think he'll play. And I think that this whole conversation about what took place between Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons. It's like it's tell old, guys it's so old. And listen, Jerry Jones has done how many contracts during the duration of his career versus how many has Micah Parsons been a part of? Like, don't act like this is on Micah Parsons. Like, that's whack as S. Don't act like it's on Micah Parsons. Whatever it was that you were trying to get done, Jerry, you try to get it done, fine. You try to get it done with the player, but you also try to get that done with the agent. And if that doesn't align, it doesn't align. But don't try to make this mess out to be like Micah did the contract but didn't do the contract, and then his agent came and no. Don't do that. That doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. You're a guy who is very, very experienced in running a team. So don't put that out there like that, because that's misleading. Like, even if you had that conversation, you pay him, you're his employer. If he called you to come in there and he talked to you about numbers and you felt like, and it's easy, believe you me, it's easy to feel like you have a close relationship with the owner of the team at times. That does happen, where you have close conversations, you're in close quarters, you discuss things, you discuss the future of the team. They try to hit on your emotional strings and your chords and talk about what the city means and all these things. Stop putting that on Micah Parsons. The bottom line is a contract wasn't done. You needed to talk to the agent at some point in time, no matter what the conversation that took place between you and Micah Parsons, and everybody needed to get on the same page. That didn't happen. Just say we needed to get on the same page. We weren't on the same page, and now Micah's gone. That's it. Like, all this other stuff to try to justify one thing over another, or this and that, it's a dumb-ass move. No matter how you slice it, it's a dumb-ass move. I don't give a damn if Micah Parsons has 3 good years left in that back. That's still a horrible move to allow Micah Parsons to leave. That's a horrible move. And nothing you say, nothing you're going to do, whether you agree with that Micah's agent or not, whether you listen to all of the speculation or the things that get reported out there or not, the bottom line is there's no justification for letting Micah Parsons leave your team before his rookie contract was over. You didn't do another contract with him. You can't justify it. Let's just move on. You're going to get your asses kicked by Philly.
Damn.
Go get that ass whipped. Come back and have to answer more questions about why you didn't bring Micah Parsons back. You did this.
Why don't you go get your ass whipped?
Don't blame that on somebody else. You did that.